All right, well, let's get started. You guys can continue putting those in. I'm going to do my best to monitor the chat as I can, but again, like I said, I'm the only person working. Normally, we have a second person who helps out with that. But you are all here to see the new Brainingcamp, the new version of Brainingcamp. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, that's what we're going to be doing right now. You don't need to do anything. It's nothing special that you need to sign into. You can just go to your Brainingcamp account, sign in, and I'll show you how to get to the beta form is what we're calling it right now, because it's still a little bit in testing, working out a couple of the kinks. But we really think that sometime next week, we're going to flip it and go to the new version. And then if you want to go back to the older version for a little bit, you're going to be able to. But all right, if you are new and you haven't seen Brainingcamp at all, we always like to give away a free classroom trial to you. So if you would like to go to, if you haven't had a trial yet, you can go to brainingcamp.com, click on redeem, enter the code new22, and that's going to give you a 60-day license that you need to redeem by the end of this month. Now, if you have had a license or trial before, you're more than welcome to use this code. It will extend your trial a little bit further. If you have a license, there's no need to do this. Your license trumps the trial, so you can have that one. I'll leave that up for another second. Just to show you real quick. You go to Brainingcamp, click redeem, follow the directions, but when it says for the code, it's new 22 for new Brainingcamp in 22. All right, so just a few housekeeping items. You will be receiving a certificate of attendance. If your district allows that to be part of professional development, you can use that. However, but at the end, everybody who is in this call, all 70 of you right now, will receive an email of attendance. It'll probably come in the next 48 hours or so. I am recording this webinar, so it will also be recorded and put up on our website within 48 hours. There's the link to it, brainingcamp.com/webinars. Beyond this one, there are tons of them up there that you can go back and watch, any one that we've hosted in the last year and a half or so. At any time, please use the chat for questions. I will continue to, as I do something, look over to see, scroll back a little bit and kind of see if I can catch any of your questions. And I want to answer as many of them as I possibly can. But then the last one, because you are here at any time, because you've signed in and you're here, we are giving away a swag bag. It's like a notebook and stickers and pens and things like that. So we will select somebody, reach out to you and let you know that you won, and get your email or get your address and all that stuff and send that over to you. You don't need to do anything. Just being here has entered you to win. So thank you again for joining us. All right, so let's look at what has changed, right? That's what you're here to see. So Brainingcamp basically has gone back to the drawing board. We've done what we could with the version that we had, and we said we need to do something new. We need to start over. It was starting to look a little bit old and a little bit dated. So basically, if you look at it like, I heard my boss saying today, like a building, an old building, sometimes it's better to just tear it down and start over. So that's what we did. We rewrote every line of code in Brainingcamp. It is absolutely brand new, so you have an incredibly new interface that you're going to use. We tried to keep some of the things that worked well, and you'll see some similarities between the current version and the next one. But we wanted to add some things like instructional tools, make things easier to use, like settings and workspaces, put more options on every page. So there's going to be quite a few things that are going to be new or a little bit different, easier to use. One of my favorites is any background tool that was on the page. If you switched from into a chart or a graph, that is now a clickable tool, and you can do different things with that. No display on the screen. Is anyone else seeing a black screen? I'm getting that as a chat. Okay. That may be a Zoom issue. You may want to sign out and come back in, but it looks like most people are seeing the slides. So, all right, the next one here, the next thing that has changed is one that I thought was going to be simple or silly, actually. I didn't think we needed it. It was zoom in and out. And it has become one of my favorite features that we have now. You can zoom into the page to make things larger. You can zoom out to give yourself more space, and you can zoom far back and give yourself plenty of space to do multiple problems. People have been asking, like, hey, can I do more than one problem on a page? And this is going to help you with that. And then lastly, we have some new and updated, with everything being updated, we've refreshed the colors. They're a little bit brighter, a little bit easier to see. All right, so someone's saying, can I send you the code? Yes, I will send you the code when we're done with this, Eva. But if you need to, the code is new22. And that's right on the main page there. So, all right, so let's get into it. Let's look at some of these. These are things you're going to see as I go through this presentation. We got about a half hour or so, but these are the things you're going to see, the changes that we made. So, all right, so when you are in Brainingcamp, this is when you go to brainingcamp.com, just like before, this is what you're going to see. You sign in just like you do, and you're going to be brought to the current version of Brainingcamp. Across the top, there is a banner that says, try it in beta. It's almost here, try there. This is what I want you to click on. It's going to open a new window. When you do it, these things here, these webinars, resources, and all that stuff, they're going to go away. That's one way to tell that you are in the beta version. When we release the regular version, when we make this the real one, those will reappear and those will be there and ready to go. But for right now, it's kind of like a sandbox practice playground for us. So when you click on that, like I said, it opens a new window. The bright yellow bar also tells you that you are in the new version. But like I said, it looks relatively the same, right? So you can click on any of the manipulatives and see the new layout. So I'm going to use color tiles. It's my favorite one to show. So when you click on it, you can see there's some similarities to the old page, and there's some new things, right? I'm just going to work my way through the page so you can kind of see some of these things in real time. So starting over here on the left, we have our manipulative tray. We've always had it there, but you can see normally when we had colored tiles, we had just 4 colors. So we were able to add a few more colors to it, right? So now you have pink, purple, and orange as well. They work the same way. You click, you drag them out there, and then when they're out here, they're objects on the screen, which allows you to click on them and have tools to copy. You can delete them, you can change the color, get rid of the color, lock them in place, just like we did before. All those tools are going to be there. So that's going to work the exact same way that it used to work. They snap in place. You can quickly click and add pieces if you want to do that. And so, we didn't want to change that. We really like the way that one works. What we did change was in this manipulative tray, there's actually 3 sections to it. So the first one is the manipulative, and then that's going to change depending on the manipulative you choose. But the next 2 stay the same. And they're different types of tools that you may or may not use with these. So when you click this middle one with a T in it, the main thing here is that's your text button. You can click on this, edit it, give directions, do whatever you want to do. You can see here that when it comes up on the right-hand side, all my tools that I want to use to make this look good or change the size of it, they're all there. And I can, anytime I click on the text, it goes away when I'm off. I click on the text, it comes back. So I can change the font size. I can make it bigger or smaller. I can change the style that I want. I can do the alignment to left, right, or center. If I have a bunch of text, I can change the colors. You can see we have a whole bunch of different colors now. So I can make make all my directions or my pages look prettier than I used to be able to do. We even have white. So if you have like a dark background, you can have the white letters there as well. You see we have shapes. So these shapes can come out. Same thing. The tools that go with it are on the side. You can change the color of the line. You can change the color of the fill. So I could do a blue fill here with a red line and make that red line really, really thick if I wanted to do that. It's on the page. If you see these little squares, these are handles that you can grab and change and make that any size you want. One of the buttons here says layer, and this will bring the object to the top layer, so it's the first thing you see, or push it to the back so things can be in front of it. So for instance, here, it is in the back because I can see hello and I can see the manipulative. It's in the back, but maybe I want to hide an answer. I can click on this and bring it to the front. And now when I move it, it hides everything behind it. So maybe I'm hiding an answer, hiding directions, or, doing something that I just don't want the kids to see at this time, right? And I can then, again, move that to the back if I want to do that. But all your tools and colors are right there, right? So that is on every page. This middle line will be on every single one. And this one here too, everyone doesn't know this. This is a shape. It's just a line shape, but you can make a line there, and this arrow can come out and make that. But people see that and think it's like a divider, but no, it is an actual line. Can you change the size of manipulative by dragging? In a way, Susie, I'll show you that in a minute, but no, you can't click on the manipulative and then just drag it and make it bigger. On the manipulative, there's some spots you can. All right, so I'm going to clear this. I locked it. That's why I didn't go. I'm going to put a few of these out here. Oh, click on the actual one. And then I'm going to go to this next. So we did the shapes. This next one is 5 frames, 10 frames. And those are more for kindergarten, first and second grade. So you may not have to worry about those. But one of them that we do have is the next frame. And this is where it's perfect for 3-5, is that we have this array of any size. It defaults to 3x4. I click on it, see it has the thumbnail or the handlebar, so I can change that and make it any size I want. Great for distributed property of your basic facts, right? And I can grab these and drop them in there, and it'll fill them up for me, right? So that's wonderful that we have that you can put those in there. I'm missing one here somewhere. There it is. Okay. Again, this is an object, so I can change the size of it. I can copy it. I can delete it. I can turn the labels off. If I wanted to show something like, all right, 7 times 5 is the same thing as 5 times 7, or yeah, you know what I mean. Associated property, I can flip it over, right? All I have to do is flip it, copy it, move it here, rotate that. We can talk about what's the same and different with those two. So, all right, but the one that people really have been wanting and have really been asking for is this last one, the number line. I can drag that out, and now I have a number line on every single page, every manipulative, even the clock. There's a number line on the clock, but a number line like this you can put on there, and it fits perfectly in place, and I can click on it. And again, I have tools to copy it, delete it, rotate it so it's vertically. I could change my start number to be 53, and the whole thing adjusts in real time. Maybe I need to go 53 to 70 something. Grab the right way, click on it. There's a handlebar, so I can drag that out, and I can make that number line longer, and I can add pieces to it. And when they're on there, I should be able to click the whole thing. Thought they grabbed each other. Maybe I didn't grab the whole thing enough. But yeah, I can move them together at the same time, and I can copy that whole thing, right? So that number line is on every single one. All right, that's your manipulative tray, right? So you have manipulative, tools, and tools. Across the bottom, we've always had this undo, redo, and clear all. That's been the same. But we have this magnifying glass, a negative magnifying glass, and a centering button. I'll show you these in real time, but this goes back to the question that I think it was Susie asked, can you make the size bigger? I can zoom in to my screen here. Oh, I need the handlebars to change that. And I can make my manipulatives much bigger if I need to, right? I can zoom in. So it's huge, and that's about as far as I can go. And I can zoom out as well and go much, much further away. The other thing, I have a Mac, but I can hit Control and then use my scroll bar on my mouse and zoom in and out really easy. And then, like I said, I have these handlebars that let me go side to side, and you can see there's a ton of space on here. If you ever get lost, right, and you ever I know something's on the page, but I don't know where it is. This little screen button will center it and bring it everything right back to the middle of the screen. So, and I'll show you some stuff there that it's pretty fun. We'll do some stuff that how you can use it to make pages easier. But pens and highlighters, same thing, just more colors, right? So now you have more options to annotate your page. But then the one thing that I think, well, not the one thing, there's a lot of things that are great. The settings button. We used to have settings across the bottom and some over here and some over there and somewhere on the manipulative, and they were all over the place. So we decided, let's clean that up. When I click on settings, I get all the settings for the page right here on the side. Most of them are toggles. I can toggle it on, turn a grid, toggle it off, label my workspace, label the numbers themselves. Each one of those is going to be different depending on the manipulative, but all your tools should be right there. You should instantly see something happen. If you click on something and it doesn't change and you don't see it change, we've made a mistake. That's one of the things here in the settings. You should see something happen on your screen right away. If something's out there, obviously, right? Perfect. You can get that, set up and everything's right there, nice and neat. All right. Workspace. We've always had workspace. It always said basic, but now you hit workspace and you're changing the workspace. So I have a basic one. I have a number line. Works pretty much just like the number line here. I have a graph that can come out. And then in this one, I have a part whole. But I'm going to stick with the graph because I thought this was really cool. It was unintended, but it's very cool. With this graph, I can click on it because it's now an object, and I have the ability to copy. I have the ability to delete, rotate it, turn the labels on and off. But again, I have handlebars. So this handlebars, I can change the size to whatever size I need it to be. So if I needed it to go up to 20, well, I'm maxed out on my screen. Zoom out a little bit, go up a little bit higher, maybe bring it down, go up a little bit higher, hit the center button, and I can continue. I can make this as big as I need it to be. I might be running out of space here with it, but what I can see on the screen, but I can change that to whatever size I need it to be. I can rotate it. So now it's, instead of being a vertical, the numbers going vertically, I can go horizontally here. I can actually, let me delete that. I got to come back to it. Number line, graph. Oh, refresh. Go to the graph. All right, so I'm going to copy this, slide it over to the side, and then I'm going to zoom out so I have more space. I'm going to put it right here. What I can do, because these are now independent graphs, I could build a graph here that my data is going vertically. I can click on this one, build the same data, but make it go horizontally. And now we can compare two graphs that say the same information. The other thing I can do, and this was the unintended part, was I can pick this up, slide it right here, and when I let it go, now I have a first quadrant grid on my page, right? So kind of nice. If I want to have that, I can build that myself. Like I said, we didn't intend to doing it, but once we kind of did, we were playing around with it, like, hey, that worked really cool, right? Yeah, I love being able to compare the two at the same time and be able to zoom out and check that out. So, okay, so that's kind of all the, that's all the new stuff in a nutshell, but I do want to show it to you in real time and how you can do some stuff. So we're going to look at 3 concepts. Can you change the scale of the graph? No, you can't. Not on this one. We do have a XY pegboard and a coordinate board that you should be able to change the scale on that one. But this is just, again, the graph inside this manipulative. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back just like we did before. You click Brainingcamp, you go back. I'm going to start with Cuisinart rods. And I want you to notice here, it looks almost identical, right? You have your manipulatives on the tray, text and shape, 5 frames, 10 frames, number lines, they're all right there. All the things are on the bottom. I can change the settings. We'll get into a couple of settings. If I want them to come out vertical, I could do that instead of horizontal, add the grids and all that stuff. But I'm going to do shut the settings off. I'm going to go to my workspace and I want to change it to fractions. Cuisinart rods are awesome for a ton of different things. But the hardest part I think that kids have is that without them being labeled, they're hard to know what they represent, right? So if I said, hey, this purple one is 1, they have to remember that's 1 and all these other ones are different sizes. But with virtual ones, I can label them. So if I change this to fractions, I now have labeled Cuisinart rods, and I can do something like adding like denominators, right? So we do this with earlier kids in first and second grade. They do this part whole model that if they said, okay, I have 3/10 and 2/10, and this is part and this is part, this becomes 5/10, right? And the kids can see very easily that 3/10 and 2/10 is 5/10. I have 4/10 and 6/10. Well, that ends up being 1 whole or 10/10. I can put that right there, and they can see that they're the equal size. The other nice thing is if I had 8/10 and 7/10, right? In physical manipulatives, the largest you have is 10 units long. So you would have to build multiple ones here, but we have this 11/10 one that comes out, and notice on the tray, there's an arrow. And when I click on it, there's a handlebar, and the handlebar allows me to slide this up and show that it is 15/10, right? And now I can have a discussion about, well, 15/10, our VP of education doesn't like me when I say it. It's an improper fraction. It's a fraction greater than 1 is what we wanted to say, right? So now we can show that, hey, this is 1 and 5/10. And what a great way for kids to see that we go 8/10 and 7/10, it's 15/10. And how do we go from 15/10 to 1 and 5/10? Simply by just, putting these pieces together. If I wanted to pull a number line out, it's in tenths. I can even click on that, drag it out, and show that it's 15/10 with that number line. And how many more do I need to get to 2? I can do that as well, right? But this is great, but you're not always adding in tenths, right? There's sometimes you need to add in fourths, especially if we're doing like denominators. And that's all we're going to do for this page right now. If I want to do like denominators, I want to do fourths. I need to go to my settings, and one of the workspace labels is change the whole. So I can hit change, and now I just need to know, well, which one is 4, right? They go 1, 2, they go 1 increasingly larger. So this is going to be my whole now, and I want that purple one to be the whole. Notice how over here in the fraction or in the tray, everything has changed, right? And now I can go, what did you click to get the number line in tenths? Nothing. It comes out that way. All I have to do is drag that number line out. Oh, I'm in fourths right now. Okay. So because I'm in fourths, the number line is in fourths. If I were to change this to ninths, my number line changes to ninths, and so do all my manipulatives at the same time, right? So everything changes to match the setting that you've set here. So, all right, good. I'm glad you guys like that. I think that's a really cool feature, especially, like I said, showing that part whole of 4/9 and 3/9 being 7/9. It's wonderful. I can even do reduced terms. So let's actually make that. Let's not do ninths. Let's change it to 1/6. Delete that. If I did 2/6 and 2/6, right? And that's going to equal 4/6. I could hit reduced form, and that's going to reduce everything down to the lowest term for me, right? So sometimes you want that on, sometimes you don't. But maybe if you're doing unlike denominators, you could do that here, because now you could do 1/2 and 1/3 and have the kids see that 1/2 and 1/3 is 5/6. Well, how did you get that, right? So each time the number line matches, every time that number line comes out, it's going to read what it needs to be on that page, and it's going to change. Label all does turn off all of them, so you can turn them all on, turn them all off. All right, if I missed your question, I'm sorry. I'll try to go back and see something. Versatility helps. Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. We hope to make it as easy as we can. Oh, hey, Jeanette. Sorry, I knew you were coming. I meant to call you today. I'm sorry. Perfect. Okay. Well, let's kind of move on to the next one here, right? And these are all things you'll be able to play around with. So I'm going to go back to Brainingcamp. I'm going to continue with the fraction idea, but I'm going to move it up. That was adding like denominators. Let's add unlike denominators, right? So I'm going to move to fraction circles. And again, everything looks the same as best as it can. I'm going to change my workspace because I want to be able to have multiple rings up here. I could do the same thing with the regular manipulatives, but I like this activity here. So I'm going to click on the ring. Now I'm going to need 3 of them because I'm going to need a first add-in, a second add-in, and a sum. So what I'm going to do is click on it, copy it, but you see how it goes off the screen a little bit. I can move, I can zoom, I can click on this center button, and now it's where I need it to be. I can click again, copy, recenter. Now I have all 3 where I want them to be. I'll slide this over to give myself some space, and then click on it. Yes, Elise, we will send a link to the recording to everyone as well. We'll make sure you guys get it. All right, so Susie said, I like that they're able to gain better understanding too. You can see 1/2 is larger than 1/3. Yes, we can do that too. I'm actually going to use that and say, let's use that problem as an addition problem, right? What is 1/2? Now, this is where I'm going to hope. We know there's a little bug with this right now with our text feature. It's always good to do it live, right? Yeah, not want to work. So we're working on that right now, but let's do this. Let's do 1/2 plus 1/3 equals something. I can put plus and equals over here. I'll put the pen down. I'll give you my whole screen. So I'll go back to my manipulatives. I can add this side to say 1/2. I can put this one in here and say 1/3. But if you notice, it doesn't quite look right, right? That's this is in 8ths and this is in 8ths, and I need it to be in halves. Click on the manipulative. Or click on the ring. There's a bar on the bottom of it, a little slider. And when I slide that to where I want it to be, I can make this one say halves, and I can click on this one and this one be thirds. And now I have my pieces right. I can just copy it over here, copy this one, add it together, and we can show, hey, just like we did when we were in lower elementary grades, when you take 2 pieces and put them together, that's all we're doing. This is going to get fixed. That's going to snap into place for us. But notice here, oh, I landed on something it's not 8ths, right? I need a line to be right there. I can play around with this until I find a fractional piece that lands perfectly on there, and I can see that that's 5/6. Maybe your kids don't understand when you had said this is 1/2 is equal to 3/6. Well, I could show them that that's 3/6 by making that 6 here, making this one 6 here, and I can make my denominators be the same and then add it, right? So they can see that actually happening in real time. I thought that one was really good. Oh, I missed one here. The settings. Forgot one of the things. The settings. We can keep it in fractions. We can go in decimals. We can go in percents, and then we can leave it blank if we want to. So we can jump through whichever ones we want. And then this settings is for the whole screen. So I could put that away, but if I wanted this one to be in decimals or percents, I could do that as well. So you could do individually on the screen or the whole thing. Yes. Marianne, I'm going to have to probably copy that and use that as something. Teaching fractions just got a whole lot easier. That might be a tweet coming soon. So thank you. We love it. They automatically fill from the top of the ring. I believe so. And I believe when they go in, they will fill where they are here. If they don't, though, if you need to rotate them, we have this little rotate bar that'll you'll be able to spin it to wherever you need it to be. Once it locks into the center, it'll do that. Oh, that reminds me too. If you find something like that, just hit report issue and it'll pull up a chart. It'll go to a Google Doc, fill that out, say, hey, I'm working on this. It's not working right. We'll catch it. We still have 1 week before it goes live officially. So hopefully we can catch all those little bugs and knock them out. That's why we're in this beta phase right now. Okay. Yeah, same thing though. Look, you have a number line. You may not need a number line on here, right? A number line with round pieces are going to be tough. So, but it's on there. Maybe you have some reason to use that. But okay, last one, and then yep, perfect. We'll have time to do this last one, and then we have time to answer some questions. We're going to go up to fraction tiles. Again, same old, everything's the same, except this time, one of the things that I love is when I pull out that number line, remember how it changed from 1 to 1 or from one manipulative to the next? This comes out here and it's a hole. But if you were real keen-eyed and you just saw when I clicked on it, it has this bar here. I can change that to whatever size I need it to be. And now I can do halves, thirds, fourths, sixths, eighths, tenths, twelfths, and I can, why is 1/2 the same as 6/12, right? And we can put those together on a number line. I can go back here and put these and show them that that's 6/12, and they snap into place. And we can look at reducing fractions that way. But that's not what I wanted to bring you here to do. What I want to show you is one that I remember when I was in school, or when I was teaching in the school as a math coach, one that was really hard for kids to get. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Even though you don't see me zooming out, I am. The question that I want to do is I want to compare these two. What is 1/3 divided by 2? And what is 2 divided by 1/3? This used to always give some of my teachers some issues because it's hard to understand, right? When you're dividing by a fraction or dividing a fraction by a number, it can be pretty confusing. But what I love here is we could bring these out, and if we talked about this is the piece that I'm starting with, 1/3, and I need to divide that into 2 equal pieces, I could bring out my number line and put that there. And then when I click on it, there's my thirds. I need to cut this into 2 equal pieces, and that's going to happen when I get to 6th. So I can then come back and put 1/6 here and 1/6 there. So that is 1/3 divided by 2. But how is that different than 2 divided by 1/3? So now I can make a number line that goes to 2, and I'm going to divide this into thirds, right? And I could then say, well, I need to divide this into 1/3 equal pieces, and I get 6. And you do this 3 times, maybe 3 times. Don't say, look at this connection, that this is 1/6 and this is 6 pieces. They will make that connection that, hey, every time I do this, I get either the other one I was going to do is 1/2 divided by 4. Right, so if I did 1/2 divided by 4, 1/2 divided by 4, I would get 8ths, right? I would need 8ths to do that. But then if I did 4 divided by 1/2, I would need 8 1/2s to get there, right? And kids will make that connection really quickly when they start seeing it. But this is a great way for them to see, what am I dividing and what am I dividing by? And why does it look the same, but why is it also so different, right? So that's a really nice, easy one that you can do with your kids. Workspace here, I can pull up a number line again, just like I did before, and then I have a wall that I could put fractions on there, and then I can slide this over. So maybe I want to compare 1/2 to 2/4. Let's put them all in there, right? And say 1/2 compared to 2/4. You see that line goes all the way down. And then there's a number line at the bottom. I think this one stays in tenths for now until we can figure out a way to change it. But it's all on one. I think, let me double check this. I should have guessed before I did it. Yeah, so this one here is a background. Yeah, I can copy it. Awesome. So I can copy that, and I can have 2 walls if I wanted to do 2 different walls. Yeah. So I kind of learned something myself on this one. So, all right. So, Jody, thank you. Yeah, we hope you guys feel that. We hope that you guys think that they're amazing and that they're going to make your teaching easier. Yeah, that's kind of the idea here. So let me go back and see some of the other ones that I may have missed. Can you all create an activity that allows students to become familiar with these new features? Something like, look what you can do. Yes, we're actually if you look at Brainingcamp current version, in the resources, we have these tutorials. And when you watch them, they're old. They're probably 2 years old. Some of the stuff has been long gone from Brainingcamp. But we currently have a group of people working on making tutorial videos. We've storyboarded the whole thing. We've said exactly what we want them to do. But they've been waiting for the new version before they can make the video. So there will be new tutorial videos out, and a lot of that is going to be look what you can do. Pieces on top of pieces that are already in the circles. Yes. Sorry, I should have showed this here. I could put 1/3 here, 1/4 here, and then rotate them right on top. Or if I wanted to show equivalence, right? That's the 6th and that's the 6th. They can look right. They should be semi-transparent and be able to see right through those. But I'm working backwards. I'm sorry. All right, we'll keep going down. Is it possible to recording? Yes, Sherry, we are recording this. They will go up. They will go here on the original Brainingcamp in this webinars tab. Within 48 hours, we'll have that recorded. All right. Is there a help button like the report and issue button? No, unfortunately not right now. But I will give you an email before I leave, a support at Brainingcamp and my own email, and we will always be happy to help you whenever we possibly can. Yeah. Can you show the place value tool? Yeah, we can do that while we have time. All right. So we go here to base 10 blocks. All right, Marianne, I'm going to get to your question too. I'm going to show the place value tool. Base 10 blocks. One of them is place value. What I love here is if I put a 10 here, that works perfectly fine. If I try to put that 10 in the hundreds, it's supposed to bring it back and say you're not allowed to do that. If I put the 10 in the ones, it breaks it into ones. If I take 10 ones and bring it over, it makes it a 10. You can do that. And then again, I change the settings. Maybe you don't need all those. Maybe you're working with a younger kid. You can change that to just the numbers that you need it to be. So the next question was, are there any new manipulatives? Today, no. One of the best things that we did when we were building these is we made like a framework that allows us to build manipulatives at a much quicker pace. So this has been our focus. This has been, we need to get this out. We've been working on this for close to 10, maybe 11 months now. So that's been our focus. But I can tell you right now that we are already having discussions about money. We're pretty deep into the discussion about money. And what I'm being told is once we have all the functionality that we want, once we have all our tools that we want, we have all the things that we wanted to do, the turnaround time from, okay, start building it to getting it on the website is weeks instead of months like it used to be. So we should be able to go very quickly. Are old activities going to automatically move to the new system? Yes, they will, and they get updated. So anything that you made in the previous version or any of the pre-made tasks that we have, they will convert over. We have a program called a migrator that will take that and adjust it, give it the brighter colors, the new layout, and bring it and put it right in the middle of your page. It may look slightly different, but it should have everything you want exactly the way you had intended it to be. The only thing that I will tell you is right now, if you make a share code in this version, in this beta version, the chances are that it will not go over. It'll probably be erased, right? So right now, this is a playground. This is just fun. It's just to try some things out. The goal is to have this, to flip this over for next week, right? Next week, you come in here, this is the version you get, and up top, instead of saying go to beta, this is, hey, go back to the original. But if you guys are here watching this, you're the type of people who are like, I want the new version. I'm going to go play with the new version and use it. But, there's some people who change is a little bit harder for, and so we're going to give them an option to go back to the original. But, within a month or two, it's gone. It'll go to this. Feeling better about being new to fourth grade. Wonderful. I'm glad that makes me feel good that you're feeling better about it. And we're going to plan on doing more webinars and more trainings and more things. So hopefully you can come back to them and let us know, hey, this is what I'm working on. We can maybe work that into a training. Do you have an account to utilize this with your students? Yes. If you, your students will have the same option when they come in. They will be able to go to this new Brainingcamp as well. You'll need them to know. If you're not working with students this week, when they go in, it's going to go to the new Brainingcamp. But yeah, you should be able to add your students to it. We don't charge for students. You either get a teacher license, a classroom license, and all your kids are free, or you get a school license and all your teachers are paid for and all your kids are free. I have an old iPad. That may be the reason that it's not going. I think it's the older iPad is the issue there. The last time I did I did this presentation last week too, and same thing. Some people were saying on the iPad it's a little bit different. But I will check to find out what the issue is there. But I believe it's just the older version of it that is not keeping up with that. So wonderful. Thank you, Margaret. I'm glad you think they're wonderful or they're terrific. We're happy to hear that you guys like it. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. If you are teaching already, good luck on the rest of the school year. If you're getting ready for school, I wish you the best. I know my kids' teachers are going back today and they start next week. That reminds me, if you need anything, if you need help, here's a great email: support@brainingcamp.com, info@brainingcamp.com. Please let us know any questions you have. Please let us know anything like, hey, I wanted it to do something. Those comments are what made the biggest change in Brainingcamp, right? Teacher said, I want a number line on every page. Well, now you got it because teachers said it, right? So we try to listen to you guys. So, let us know what you like, what you need, and we will try to get it done. So, all right, let me stop.